Judy Reyes, of course, we know her from comedic roles on Scrubs, on Claws, and Devious Maids. Now she's taking a serious turn as an immigration lawyer in the new upcoming Lifetime film, Torn from Her Arms. This evokes so much emotion. Tell me a little bit about taking on this role of Thelma Garcia.
When I first read this script, I immediately responded because of everything that we'd heard. I was very familiar with the situation of children being torn from their parents across the border. I am a Latina, I am a mother, and I've been very impacted by the goings on the border for the last 4, 5, 6 years. So it immediately resonated with me. And I just was honored to be asked, and even more up for the challenge of playing the remarkable Thelma Garcia.
Now she's still practicing law. Did you work closely with her on portraying her for this film?
Because of COVID, she was in Texas and I was in Mexico, but we spoke on multiple occasions, and I did everything that I knew how to do to stay true to the character that she was, which is like a tireless defender of human rights, of people who are like her, people who are pursuing a better life. She's so connected to the issue, she so relates to, and she's just still doing it after all these years in her 70s. And I think it was really important for me to portray it the way she discussed it, which is just part of her job, part of her life, part of who she is. For every dozen failures, you have one victory where you get to help someone whose situation is very dire, because very few people go ahead and take these risks with their children to cross a border unless the situation back home is really, really grave.
Now, especially, we live in such a highly politicized world right now, and you would think something with children, and that would just evoke strong emotion, from people. But, there's people who think one way and people who think the other way. Was it hard for you to see that discussion going on, especially with thinking about children, especially children of Latin descent?
Yes, of course, it was hard for me as a mother, as a Latina in particular, because you see all that what it's connected to. I think as a Latina, as a parent, as a first generation American, because my parents were immigrant, they didn't have to take the risk that these people are currently taking with their children. It's absolutely painful. So to be able to recreate the circumstances of, and tell the story of one mother and daughter among many to whom this has happened, was a wonderful opportunity to show it from that point of view, from that experience, from that side. And I think the Lifetime audience is definitely going to respond.
Now, I do want to ask you, we are based in Chicago, and you have worked with 2 Chicagoland actors, and I'm sure plenty more, but Gina Rodriguez on Jane the Virgin and Justina Machado on One Day at a Time. How do you think that their Chicago-ness and those 2 ladies there have influenced your career? And, was there anything special that they said about Chicago when you were working with them?
Well, Justina Machado, who is a very dear friend and my daughter's godmother, never stops talking about Chicago, very much like, and neither does Gina, who I haven't seen in a while, but also I think, of course, it's that their Chicago-ness is like my New Yorkness, like my Bronxness. It has everything to do with who we are and what we bring to our work. And we're very proud of the city that helped make us, the city that received our families and created an opportunity among many, and so much to see and so much to experience. So yeah, to make a long story short, of course, the Chicago-ness plays into their influence on me, their friendship with me, and all the work that they do, as I hope my New Yorkness does for mine.
Yes, and I love that about all three of you. You also have a holiday movie coming up as well too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, it's a wonderful story about a mom and a daughter, right? The daughter is wakes up with a certain gift, to completely express herself and not hide her feelings. And the mom, who is a very particular, very meticulous parent, everything has to be perfect, everything has to look right, and you can't mess with Christmas, because her daughter wakes up with this gift of vision and of lack of editing. It completely messes with the mother's Christmas plans and with the entire family. And it forges, to bond a closer relationship between mother and daughter and the entire family, and turns out to be a wonderful Christmas, not to spoil it, but That's what we want from Christmas, right?
Oh, exactly. 100%. Judy Reyes, so wonderful to be chatting with you. Torn from Our Arms, Saturday on Lifetime. Go ahead and check out that film. Definitely celebrating the work of Thelma Garcia and immigration